Alright, so before we get started here, I just want to let you guys know that this video is not to go in depth and teach you how to install brakes or bleed brakes or do all the little nuances it takes to put a braking system on a vehicle. This video is to show you that these parts work, that these parts install, and to help you guys out. That's all it's for. Please do this at your own risk. This is modifying your vehicle's factory braking system. I know what I'm doing. You got to make sure you know what you're doing and get it installed correctly. And I think it's a great upgrade. So I'll catch you guys in a minute. Hey guys, Garage here, and behind me I have all the parts to do a big brake upgrade for a 5th gen RAV4. This is essentially the brake setup off a TRD Camry, bolts onto the RAV4. That's what we're going to be doing today. I haven't seen anybody do it. We're going to do it. So what we're going to be changing out is a single piston front calipers for dual piston. We're going to go to a much larger front rotor, and the rear rotor is going to stay the same. We're also going to upgrade pads on all 4 corners. And yeah, this is going to be a pretty straightforward swap because it's all bolt-on is the beautiful part. Please check the video description for links to everything that I used in this video. Buying from those links also helps me out, helps me make material like this. So let's get on this. All right, so let's take a look at these rotors. So they are both 28 millimeter thickness wise, but really comes down to diameter. And also the new one, the TRD one, has venting on the inside to allow airflow to go through the front and then through the back. But just looking at them, you'd think the one on the right, the new one, was a lot thicker, but it's not. Measured it with a caliper, both 28 millimeters thickness, but substantially more material on the new one. And on the car, definitely looks more substantial. Now I run 20 millimeter spacers. These, check the video description for these spacers. These kick the wheels out to just the right level where it looks really good on this car. It gets them flush with the fenders, really gives it a different look than other RAV4s. But I've got a red Loctite, the factory studs, and then go ahead and get these on. And then we're gonna work on changing out our calipers. Alright, so I wanted to show you the difference in the pads so you can see how much more surface area and pad there is on these new ones. And you can see the dual piston calipers there. We've got a large single piston there. I'm going to calculate and show you guys at the end of this little segment the difference between the piston area of the single versus the duals. I don't know how much more surface area the duals have. I don't think there's going to be a huge amount more because those are a lot smaller. And that is a very large single. We're going to calculate it. Didn't have to modify the dust shields at all, and everything else is going to bolt up. So we've got our factory bleeder screw and hose right there in the middle, and then this kind of has the same type of a format, except the bleeder screw on this caliper. Let me flip this guy up. Bleeder screw will be up here instead, but everything else should bolt right up. So we've got a banjo fitting bolt, and we've got that little locking piece there, should fit right up and go right into this caliper. But let me get pads on and continue this installation, and then we're going to end up needing to bleed brakes once we get these switched up. And just like that, it's all bolted on. Got to bleed the brakes, but hit the other side. That is a massive difference in pad and rotor. Turned out really nice. Like I said, the factory dust shield, plenty of clearance on that. Looking forward to get these all bled up. So I'm going to knock out the other side, and then we're going to do just the pads and the rotors on the rear. All right, so the fronts are a real simple bolt-on. There's a little more complexity to the rear, so let's jump on this. Just not much, just a little bit more complex with the electronic parking brake. So let's get this apart. Gotta take off our wheel spacer. Again, you put these back on, you do have to red Loctite them. Alright, now this part, not sure if you can see it, pretty basic. Got two 14mm. Gotta get loose. Don't have a thin enough wrench to get in here on this. There's a little nut right here. All right. So we've chalked the front wheels. We've got it on jack stands. The car is not going to roll. You have to make sure of that. Now what we had to do, we already did it ahead of time, is we started the car, we put it in neutral and then shut the car off. And then that releases the electronic brake. So it's sitting here without the brake on, so I'm able to take this off easily. All right. So I've got to switch over the pads. Because even though these are brand new, I'm just switching to the same pad material on the front and the rear. So I'm going to do that right now. I got to switch over. The squealers don't come on these power stops, so I'm going to take the squealers off. I'm just going to apply it to the power stop. They just clip on, and then we'll put that pad on in a second. Get this other side done. We also have to lift this guy up. We have to take this caliper bracket off so we can get this rotor off. So actually, let me go ahead and get that loose. These are 17s. Yeah, 17. I got a special ratchet for this breaker bar style. Definitely some ugga-duggas on that. Nice working on a virtually new car. This thing's clean. There's our caliper bracket. We're going to take out our other pad. Take the squealer off of it. Now I did notice there's a lot more material, if you can see that, on the OEM pad above and the power stop pad on the bottom. They are the exact same pad metal-wise, but there's a lot more material on this OEM pad once you get down into it. So I'm not sure. I'm going to go ahead and run these power stops because they're the same material, friction material as the fronts, but you definitely have more surface area with these OEM pads. I'm going to leave it be though. Now I can take off our rotor. Let's get a new one on. Go ahead and put our bracket back in place. Not too much camera with my fat head. Oh, come on. Definitely. Ha! The elote man is here. That's funny. Go ahead and torque these down. Yeah, good and tight spec, German spec. Sure, the keyboard warriors will love that. Sorry, not sorry. All right, let's see. Tabs on. Tabs on. Good there. Now these were so new, this car's so new, the rear brakes are barely worn. And I can actually press that piston by hand just enough. Like that. I was able to get it on without compressing the piston with the tool. So I did the other side first. Make sure I could do it. See if I run into any complications before I put it on camera and make a fool of myself. All right, I mean, that's pretty much it. I'm going to tighten this other bolt. I don't want to waste your guys' time watching this. I'm going to tighten this other one. We're going to put a little red Loctite on here because I do run 20mm spacers to be a little more aggressive look, widen out the stance. I'm going to torque these on. I'm going to put my wheel on, torque it on, and that's it for the rear. And now I have matching pads, matching rotors to the front. Good to go. So after all that, what do I think? I think the brakes feel fantastic. Now, it did definitely take some bedding into the brakes. These particular rotors that we bought, they've got a lot of oil on them. We had to really wipe them down on the outside before we put pads on them. I mean, there's a lot of oil, and the oil was actually inside in the fins and everywhere to keep them from rusting over time. And we cleaned everything off the outside best we could, but the first few long stops bedding in the brakes, it was a full-on smoke show because the oil was burning off from inside the rotors. It was pretty hilarious, but it took a few long power stops and then those were gone. But yeah, great upgrade. I'm not sorry I did it. Feel is fantastic, and I hope this helps some of you guys out, and I will catch you later.